welcome back, each and every one of you all. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, from whichever part of the world you are looking on to. Thanks for tuning in today for another episode from The Sewing Nurse. In today's episode, I will be demonstrating to you how to draft a notched shirt collar that you can use on any garment. So, let's start. First thing first, in notching the shirt collar, you have to get the length of your shirt collar. So in order to achieve that, first you're going to have your blouse or your shirt pattern. You're going to attach it at the shoulder seams first, right? You attach it on both shoulder seams. After attaching it on the shoulder seams, then you're going to determine the button lap width. That's according to the size of your button. So for my button lap width, it is 1 inch, and it's marked here at the both sides. You see at the both sides it's marked. So then you're going to use your measuring tape, and you're going to measure from the end of the button lap here. You're coming around. This is the facing. Let's move it out of the way so you can see clearly. You're measuring from the end of the button lap, coming around to by the neck, by the shoulder where it's joined. Do not stretch your fabric as you're doing this. To the back neck, you're coming. Here is the center back joining, because my blouse is joined at the center back. You're coming around to the other shoulder seam, and you're coming back around to the other button lap end. Okay, so with this I got 19.5. Right, so this is the other end of my button lap, and this is the measurement that you're going to use in drafting your notch shirt collar. Let's put this aside. Right, so here I already have my paper lined up, so you're making sure your lines are straight. I just came out a little 1 inch from my paper, so in order to have a straight line. These are my construction line. So 19 was the measurement you get. So that is the full length from one button lap to the other button lap. You're going to get half of that measurement, and you're going to plot it on your line. So we're going to use 9.5. So this will be your center back line, right? So you can label your patterns. So from the center back, you're going to measure towards the center front 9.5 inches, or whatever figure you get after measuring your blouse length. Then this will be the bottom part of the collar will resting on your neck. So you're going to label that bottom. So from the bottom line at the center back, you're going to go up 3.5 inches. And you put in a point there. So you're going to form a rectangular using that measurement. There, so I have my rectangular 3.5 inch up. That is the width of the collar. 9.5 inch out, or whatever measurement you get. That is half of your neck measurement. Okay, remember that, half of your neck measurement. Simple. Now let me use a different color here. From a center back, you're going to come down 1/2 inch. Using a tape, you're coming down 1/2 inch, and you're plotting that there. Okay, this half of your neck measurement, you're going to find half of that. So let's say that will be 4 3/4. My calculation could be off, but it's just the concept that you want to have. Okay, nice. 1/2 inch here from the bottom of the center back down, 1/2 inch there. At the center front, label your patterns, please. It will help you when you're going to cut on your fabric. At the center front, on the top of your collar, you're going to measure out from 1.5 to 2 inches. That is what's going to give you your design. So I am going to go out 1.5 inches there. Right? 1.5 inches out. Then I'm going to connect that 1.5 to the bottom here. Now you're going to curve from this 1/2 inch that you came down at the center back towards the front of the neck here. A slight curve. Our back neck is not straight. Right? And that is a notch color there. Now if you want, you could also design it on top by just coming down 1/2 inch here. I will show you what I mean. You could come down 1/2 inch here, and you could also curve from here back up. Right, if you want to do this design, which would help it to be a little more flat on your neck. But we are not working with that design. We are just doing the basic color. Right? So my friends, this is the basic notch shirt color. Now with this color, if you do not want the end pointy, you can come in like a little 1/2 inch and you can give it a slight curve in the end. Right? The choice is up to you, right? So we're going to cut out this and then we're going to cut it on fabric. With this notch color, you have to cut 2 pieces. Right? If you do not want to cut 2 pieces to join it back, you could cut 1 piece, making here a fold line. But you will have to fold your fabric in half, which I will demonstrate in a later video. So now I'll be demonstrating how to cut your notch collar. So one of the ways in which to cut your notch collar, as I was saying it earlier on, you have your fabric. So you remember the width of this collar is 3.5. So when you fold in your fabric, make sure and fold enough to have the width of the collar, including your seam allowances, which will be 1/2 inch all the way round to the top, to the front, and to the bottom. Remember, this is folding on your fold. So let's proceed. So you have your fabric. If you want to get your color folding on this line 1 piece without cutting your fabric to have 2 second pieces, this is what you do. Look and learn. You have your fabric. You're going to fold it in half on the crosswise grain. Let me demonstrate again. You have your fabric. You're folding it in half against the crosswise grain to the width of your collar plus your excess. Right? So this will be the part on top. After folding it in half like this now, you're going to fold it again, but in the opposite direction against the lengthwise grain. You all got that? I'm going to repeat it one more time. This is your fabric for your collar. Folding it in half on the crosswise grain. Then you're going to fold it again in half, but this time on the lengthwise grain. Making sure that you have enough fabric for you to cut your collar. Okay? Then we are going to place our pattern pin, mark, and cut. So we pinning our pattern onto our fabric, secure it into place. Your pattern is pinned on your fabric. So now with this method, you put in 1/2 inch stitch allowance in the front, 1/2 inch stitch allowance here. Then you're going to put a notch at the center back, which will help you align it onto your blouse in the stitching process. So we have cut our collar pattern. We remove the pins, remove the pattern. This is half of your collar measurement. When you open it out, you will have your full length of your collar measurement. When you open it now, you have this piece of cloth. So that way now, when assembling your collar, you don't have to stitch on top here with 1/2 inch stitch in order to get this one piece before you attach your collar. You will have it running smooth in one. Okay? When you put in your pellon, you'll put your pellon on one side of your fabric. Now I'll demonstrate the second method into cutting this notch collar. The second method of cutting your notch shirt collar is as follows. So again, you're having your fabric and you're going to ensure that you have sufficient fabric for your pattern. Okay? You're going to fold your fabric in half, right sides together. Like this. Okay? This is your fabric. You folded it in half with right sides together. Place your pattern onto your fabric, pin into place. You're placing your pattern with the center back against the fold of your fabric, the opening part remaining to the front of your collar, the center front. Okay? So you place your pattern onto your fabric and your pin. Then we're going to add 1/2 inch stitch allowance at the top, 1/2 inch stitch allowance at the front, 1/2 inch stitch allowance at the bottom. But you'll be cutting 2 pieces in this method. 2 pieces. Let's cut. So after we cut our colors, then we will remove our pins, remove our pattern. Always notch the center back at the bottom. That is to help with aligning when stitching. Right, so you have 2 pieces. Now I'm using 2 different colors for demonstration purposes. So you have 2 pieces. You're opening out your collar. This is the bottom part here. Right side facing right side. You'll put your pellon onto one side of your collar. You line up your colors. Yeah, line up your collar. So what you're going to do now, you're going to stitch 1/2 inch in the front here, but just leaving 1/2 inch to the bottom here, because remember the bottom is where you're going to be attaching onto your blouse. So you're leaving about a 1/2 inch. So you're stitching from this 1/2 inch straight up, stitching 1/2 inch to the top here, and then you're coming back down on the 1/2 inch and you're stopping 1/2 inch to the bottom. Right, so this bottom piece will remain open, because here is where it's going to be attached onto your blouse, and this I'll show you in a later video. Thanks for watching. Tune in for the other part.